Hi guys, this is Vitaly with AFT Dispatch and A2C Logistics, and in today's video, I wanted to speak with you about the 2022 diesel shortage that's finally here. We talked about it in May. Let's cover the details now. First, roll the intro. Welcome back. Before we get started, I'd like to ask you to please like the video. Be sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss a single release of our videos, where every Friday we're talking about something that could benefit you in your trucking businesses, in your trucking careers, as well as cover the loads we've successfully booked for our customers, consisting of leased out owner-operators and carriers operating under their own MC authorities, running under our truck dispatch services. As always, guys, big thank you for all the likes you've provided in all the previous videos. Please do keep them coming, and let's talk about this 2022 diesel shortage that's on everyone's minds, all over the news, it's all over YouTube, certainly. And we made a video about this back in May of this year, and looking at all the data and everything that was available at the time. And now I wanted to do a follow-up because many of you guys in the comment section have said, hey, no word on a diesel shortage, no updates on that. So I definitely wanted to make sure to jump on this and provide you guys some additional details. In fact, I got to get me a sheet that I printed for you guys that we're going to use through this video. Now, the diesel shortage that we talked about at the time, we were expecting that to come in around June or July, somewhere around that time. All the numbers were showing that, and we did have shortages. It's just these are not the types of shortages that you would expect. Most people think there's going to be zero diesel, there's nothing out there, everything stops. Now, that may still be the case, that may still be around the corner, but that's probably between now and some point in 2023. But let's get into the details. Now, diesel prices have actually pretty much, I guess now we can call it skyrocketed, because they have increased by 33% just for November deliveries, and they're expected to go even higher. So that alone says fill up your tanks to the brim, and dollar cost average on that. Use your apps to make sure to get the biggest discounts through whatever fuel cards that you choose to use. Next, there's a very low diesel supply in the Northeast, very similar to what we had earlier this year and in the past as well. It's usually the Northeast, and usually the diesel gets transferred from the West Coast, overseas, goes to the East Coast, and then that's when we all feel the pinch. Now, what we're talking about when it comes to East Coast is primarily based on historical data. It's always been the state of New York, as well as the New England area, that are usually affected the most by these types of shortages, these types of fuel and oil problems. Now, we have additional issues. We made a video about this, and and I'll leave a little video link in the corner of the video for the fuel one, and then I'll also leave a video again in the corner here to the video we talked about very recently about the rail strike. Now, the day that we released it, supposedly the administration had talks and discussions, and they finally figured out that they were going to correct the issue and everything was going to be fine. The problem is that I didn't believe it, and many of you guys didn't believe it, and we were right not to trust that was over with, because it isn't. It is basically an unfinished rail strike that's still on the brink of basically collapse, of falling apart, and that's a big deal, because guess what those trains use? Also diesel, and they move a lot of freight, and the rest of it is moved by trucks. And so what happens if they continue not working, or if they completely stop working? Well, trucks are going to improve, semis are going to improve, definitely, but there's going to be increased demand for diesel fuel, and we have a very limited supply of it. So moving forward, we have the unfinished rail strike. We'll have to follow that closely and see where that goes. We also have our major problems with OPEC and the Arab countries out there. We're buying a lot of fuel there. We were a lot of oil, a lot of refined products, and we even had to ask them to please increase production, and said, no, we're not going to do it. Then we asked them to wait another month. I wonder what would happen from that point to a month over. Well, it'd be the midterms, and that says, leave that to another video. Nonetheless, we have problems with OPEC. We have an increased demand for oil products across the board, and in addition to that, we have a European-Russian ban set by Europe that's set to go into effect on February 5th, 2023. That's going to squeeze out the market even further, and that's coming in February of 2023 from the European side, basically banning Russian oil products and Russian refined oil products. So we're talking gas and diesel. Now, let's get real here. We are at the lowest oil reserve since 1951. And we have a lot to be thankful for between then and now, because fuel prices, even though they were consistently on an up and up when you look at the long-term trajectory, we were pretty blessed. You know, fuel prices were reasonable. Now we're looking at very high fuel prices for some time now, and they're looking to be, to continue going up. And unfortunately, that is the case. That is the situation that we find ourselves in. And in addition to this, let's continue adding into this boil here. We have an act from 1920. It was called the Jones Act, and that act basically limits how cargo is transported by sea. And these applications and each cargo, each unit, if you will, is inspected or reviewed. The application to go and transfer freight overseas throughout the United States is inspected and reviewed by hand. And so that, again, restricts the flow of commerce overseas when we really need, the diesel, we really need the gas, we need the oil, and we need the LNG. And, that's creating another problem. 1920s, Jones Act, look it up on Google. There's plenty of information that's available there. In addition to that, we have the U.S. oil that's now more expensive than European oil. And what we're seeing now is that the barges or the ships that are bringing in the oil, they're actually redirecting them and coming into the United States because they can make more money in the United States because the oil is more expensive here than in Europe. Well, up until recently, we figured that, the oil over there, that was the biggest problem and so expensive and everything. Turned out to be now we're actually priced even higher. So expect diesel prices to go up this November and ultimately going forward into the near future as far as we can see at this point. Now, I wanted to cover another portion of this. The numbers that I'm about to show you may be shocking to you, and I got this from the EIA. Basically looking at diesel supply, some of the recent numbers, and I really want you to pay attention here. We're going to look at October of 1951, and we're going to look at today, which was actually looking at pretty much to October. So what are the numbers? In 1951, we had 150 million population in the United States. Today, we're at 332 million. The inventory of fuel or of diesel that we had at the time, the diesel supply in 1951 was 102 million barrels. Now we're at 106. We have more than twice the population, and we've only increased our inventory supply by 4 million barrels in total supply and total availability. Now we're talking about the strategic reserve, right? So the supply demand is in terms of the demand for how many barrels per day, or the demand. Back in 1951, we had a demand of 1.02 million. So let's say 1 million. So it kind of breaks down. We had 102 million reserve. We had a 1 per day. So that would buy us 102 days of supply. So if something went bad, we could coast for over 3 months on the diesel supply in the strategic reserve. Now, today's demand is at 4.2 million. Now, again, our inventory is at 106 million. Our population is more than doubled, and our demand has more than quadrupled over the past 70 years and or over 70 years, and the daily supply goes down to 25 days. What does that mean? That means that we have 25 days of diesel, and that's where the numbers were coming from when everybody was making those videos on YouTube and all that. Now, we're well past that point, so right now, basically everyone's saying, hey, we need government interjection. And I'd love to hear from you guys. Do you think the government can do something? Should they do something? Should we let the open markets do their own thing, free trade? And how is this going to affect us? I think that diesel prices are going to come up, trucking is going to become more expensive, and you guys need to be more mindful about where you fuel up and how far you go and how efficient you're running your fleet. But again, we'd love to hear from you guys in the comment section below. Please make sure to smash the like buttons. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. I'm going to switch over to the camera. I'm going to look over the loads that we book for our customers, and I'll see you guys in just a moment. Welcome back. Let's take a look at some of these loads. Guys, with this very first load is going to be a dry van. Definitely some commentary you don't want to miss. Therefore, I'm going to put it here at the very beginning. Please definitely take a look throughout the rest of the video. There are lots of great examples. We have 8 sets of basically companies, owner ops, carriers that have done very, very well. I want to definitely make sure you pay attention to the very first one. Not the biggest money maker, but that's definitely worth it. Coming out of Baltimore, Maryland, going to Beckley, West Virginia, 40,000 pound load of clothes, different types of wares, 341 miles booked at $11.50, got her $3.37 per mile. Then Verret, West Virginia, going to Nashville, Tennessee with a 44,000 pound load of hardwood floor. products. It was a protect for moisture type of a load. 450 miles, booked at $1,100, got her $244 a mile. Then Evansville, Indiana, Tyler, Texas, with very light load, 8,095 pounds of plastic products, 667 miles, booked at $1,700, got her $255 a mile. And they finished up with Texarkana, Texas to Goshen, New York, longer run there, 36,000 pound load of consumer goods, not too heavy, 1,400 miles on the dot, booked at $3,600, got her $257 a mile. And all in all, she ran for 1 week OTR, grossed $7,550 for the 7 days that she was on the road. I ran 2,858 loaded miles at an average of 264 per loaded mile. All very respectable numbers, but this is what I wanted to pay attention. She spent 1 week on road, no previous trucking experience whatsoever, but what she's got going for her, and what I hope you'll take away from this, is that she's a very conscientious, very hardworking, and very communicable person. Basically, as the guys put it, what's her secret? She listens to her dispatchers 100% of the time. Guys, we made a video about this. I promise you, take the message in that video, take the message in what I'm saying here in this video. Listen to your dispatchers. You're going to do very well. Because she listens, she makes really good money, makes a higher than average gross out there, especially considering today's freight market. So enough said there. Definitely listen to your dispatcher. If you have any questions about any of this stuff, leave us a comment in the comment section below. Next, we have ourselves another dry van, solo again, coming out of Samoa, California to Belgrade, Montana, with a 44,000 pound load of potting soil on pallets, so palletized stuff. 1,149 miles, booked at $3,850, got them $335 a mile. Then Bozeman, Montana to Tucson, Arizona, with a 40,000 pound load of floor loaded products. 1,182 miles, booked at $2,351. Got them $1.99 on that one. And then they finished off out of Nogales, Arizona, going to Las Vegas, Nevada, with a 43,000 pound load of beer. 479 miles, booked at $1,100. Got them $230 per mile. And that was actually really good. They actually only ran for 6 days on the road, Friday to Thursday. Ended up grossing $7,301 in their 6 days, ran 2,810 loaded miles at an average of 260 per loaded mile average. So an excellent job there as well. Next, we got ourselves a reefer coming out of Valley, Alabama, going to Burleson, Texas, with a 40,000 pound load of frozen chicken, running -10 on a reefer. 765 miles, booked at $1,650, got them $216 per mile. Then with a 2-pick-1 dropper out of Denton, Texas, and Ponder, Texas, going to Houston, Texas. Real quick run there. It's a 2-pick-1 drop, very light, 11,000 pounds of frozen foods again, -10 on a reefer, 302 miles this time, booked at $1,000, got them $331 a mile. In Texas. Then Missouri City, Texas, going to Montrose, Michigan. 42,000 pound load of resin. This is a dry load. The reefer stayed off on this one the entire trip at 1,338 miles, booked at $2,600. That's $1.94, going to a decent, very decent market. And, the reefer stayed off, saving some money there. Then Holland, Michigan, going to Greensboro, North Carolina. This was a 43,000 pound load of pork products, 0 degrees on a reefer, 737 miles, booked at $2,900, got them $393 per loaded mile there. Excellent job. Friday to Friday, grossed $8,150 in their reefer, ran 3,142 loaded miles. Extremely impressive. Very rarely do we see drivers breaking that 3,000 mile weekly spot, right? Average rate, $259 per loaded mile. Lots of miles, great gross, did an excellent job there. Next, we got ourselves a dry van team. Lenoir, Texas, going to Eau Claire, Wisconsin, with a 35,000 pound load of furniture. 1,046 miles, booked at $2,150. Got them $206 a mile. Then St. Paul, Minnesota to Phoenix, Arizona, with a 32,000 pound load of plastic cans. 1,667 miles, booked at $4,500. Got them $270 a mile. Some really good miles. Then Miami, Arizona to Sikeston, Missouri, with a 44,000 pound load of FAK, 1,394 miles, booked at $2,920, got them $209 a mile, and finished off with Bloomfield, Missouri, going to Grove City, Ohio. 45,000 pound load of beverages, 493 miles, booked at $1,500, got them $304 a mile. Certainly worth it on a short run to run some heavy freight for good money. going to a good market. Ran for 7 days. This is a dry van team. Grossed $11,070 for the week. Ran $4,600 miles loaded on the dot at $241 per loaded mile. Excellent job on the drivers. Excellent job for the dispatchers. Next, we got a reefer coming out of Ogden, Utah, with a 1-pick 2-dropper in Elizabethtown, Pennsylvania, and a final in Londonderry, New Hampshire. It's a fairly light load at 30,000 pounds of refrigerated food and all sorts of goods, refrigerated, running 65 degrees continuous on a reefer, so not bad at all. 2,469 miles booked at $6,170. Got them $250 on the dot, with the next load coming out of Carver, Mass, going out to Wisconsin Rapids, Wisconsin. It's a 42,000 pound load of frozen cranberries, -10 on a reefer, 1,255 miles booked at $2,300. Got them $183. Going to an excellent market with a ton of miles, pulling them out of the Northeast. So excellent job there. 7 days on the road, grossed $8,470 for the week. Ran 3,724 loaded miles at an average of 227 per loaded mile. Again, breaking that, by far breaking that 3,000 mile limit, running 3,724 as a solo driver in a reefer with just 2 loads booked for the week. Excellent job. Next, we got ourselves, let's take a look, a dry van coming out of Springfield, Missouri, going to Monmouth, Illinois, 34,000 pound load of food products, 353 miles booked at $800. Got them $227 a mile. Then Zero Deadhead, Monmouth, Illinois, going to Sewanee, Georgia, with a 41,000 pound load of pet food and supplies, 777 miles booked at, looks like $1,972.18. Got them $254 a mile. Then Sewanee, Georgia, again, no deadhead, going to Lebanon, Tennessee, with a 44,000 pound furniture load, 269 miles booked at $800. Got them $297 a mile, very respectable. Then again, the Zero Deadhead going from Lebanon, Tennessee to Kenosha, Wisconsin, and it's a 40,000 pound load of can liners, 531 miles booked at $11.50. Got them $217 a mile. And Zero Deadhead coming out of Kenosha with a 1-pig 4-dropper, going to Bellevue, Nebraska, Omaha, Nebraska, Valley, Nebraska, and Bennett, Nebraska. Very light load, 17,000 pounds of outdoor parts, 595 miles booked at $2,300. Got them $387 per mile. Excellent job. 7 days on the road. And when I say Zero Deadhead, it doesn't mean that it's completely zero. Obviously, there's going to be, maybe you have to move the truck to another location across the street, something like that. But as you can see from here, took off from Springfield and didn't have any deadhead in terms of maybe some short miles here and there. So excellent job. 7 days on the road. $7,022.18 gross for the week, 2,525 loaded miles at an average of 278 per loaded mile average. An excellent job in my book. Then we got another dry van out of Baltimore, Maryland, going to Hammond, Indiana, with a 43,000 pound load of beer, 683 miles booked at $1,700. Got them $249 a mile. Then Geneva, Illinois to West Jefferson, Ohio, with an 18,000 pound load of FAK, 378 miles booked at $12.15. Got them $321 a mile. Then Columbus, Ohio to Mount Pleasant, Iowa. 41,000 pound load of, looks like hurt casts. Not sure exactly what that is. 510 miles booked at $1,200. Got them $235 a mile. They finished off at a Fort Madison, Iowa to Suffolk, Virginia. Longer run. It's a 41,000 pound load of some sort of molybdenum. It's 10 skids of that, some sort of chemical probably. 1,014 miles booked at $3,000 even. Got them $296 a mile. Ran for 7 days, grossed $7,115. Ran 2,585 loaded miles at an average of 275 per loaded mile average. Excellent job. And they're going to finish off with yet another dry van out of Norfolk, Virginia to Indianapolis, Indiana. It's a 42,000 pound load, hazmat exempted batteries, and 719 miles booked at $1,550. Got them $216 a mile. Then Greenwood, Indiana to Liberty, Missouri. It's a dry load. 30,000 pounds of just some sort of dry goods, 518 miles booked at $1,200. Got them $232 a mile. Then Kansas City, Missouri to Findlay, Minnesota, with a 43,000 pound load of cartons, 446 miles booked at $1,200. Got them $269 a mile. And it finished off with St. Cloud, Minnesota, going to Baytown, Texas, with a 42,000 pound load of groceries, 1,265 miles booked at $3,300. Going to Texas, that's $261 a mile. An excellent job on the dispatcher. These guys grand for a week. Solo dry van, $7,250 in gross. 2,948 loaded miles at an average of 246 per loaded mile. Guys, my hat's off to you. Did an excellent job this week. Lots of great examples, and especially to our new driver who ended up doing a very, very good job there. And you too can do that. Nothing special. As you can see, our dispatchers are doing a great job. They're finding the loads. They're booking the good stuff. They're moving the drivers around in a correct way to be able to maximize their profits in today's market and with today's market conditions. And you too can benefit from that by simply calling or texting us at 801-448-6363, going to our website at aftdispatch.com/go, or simply filling out our chat box that you can find on any one of our web pages, whether desktop or mobile. Most importantly, don't rest on your laurels. Make sure to get in touch with us. The rates are going down even for us every single week. Diesel, as I mentioned in the first part of the video, is expected to go up, and I'm hoping you guys are listening, and we'll take advantage of the offers that we have available. Carriers or owner operators, call or text, go to our website, or fill out the chat box. Until next week, guys, stay healthy, be wealthy. Take care.